This woman refuses to let her husband be intimate with her because he has been demanding it too frequently. They have been married for 2 years, during which the husband has been demanding intimacy from her at least twice every day. The woman has repeatedly told her husband that she needs a few weeks without intimacy, but he refuses to agree. He believes that since she is his wife, he has the right to be intimate with her whenever and wherever he wants. Despite his intense physical pleas for affection, his wife remains firm in her decision as she struggles to free herself from his grip and leaves the bed. Love is not proven by how often you demand it, but by how deeply you respect when it is withheld. Bhadman remains on the bed with his desires unmet, questioning in silence how much intimacy becomes too much. The woman walks into the sitting room, anger evident, lamenting aloud about how frustrated she feels from Bhadman's excessive demands for intimacy. She always believed that after marriage, Bhadman's demands for intimacy would lessen, convinced that she was his forever, but unfortunately, things did not turn out as she had hoped. Her neighbor enters the house after hearing her lament and asks why she is in such a mood, and she quickly explains that her husband is constantly demanding intimacy. Her neighbor sits beside her, her face filled with confusion at her complaint, and asks her to repeat herself. The woman explains to her neighbor that she's fed up with Bhadman's constant demands for intimacy, and her neighbor quickly reminds her that her husband married her for that very reason. The woman refuses to agree with the claim, stating that her marriage to her husband is based purely on love, not on a desire for intimacy. Marriage built on love honors the heart, not just the body's desires. Unknown to the woman, her neighbor whom she is confiding in is experiencing the opposite of her situation, complete lack of intimacy from her husband. Sometimes, what frustrates one heart is what another secretly longs for. The woman tells her neighbor that she has secretly planned to travel to her father's house and stay for a week to get a break from Bhadman's constant demands. Unknowingly, she has indirectly set the stage for her neighbor who has been secretly deprived of intimacy to tempt her husband, who is always in need of it. The neighbor secretly celebrates the news of the woman's travel, knowing that a man who constantly desires intimacy will be easy to entice. That same night, Smart sits on the bed, absorbed in his mobile phone, while his wife lies behind him, reflecting on the complaint Bhadman's wife had made. She slowly rises to her knees, places her hands on Smart's shoulders, and softly urges him to come and be intimate with her. Desire whispered softly can awaken what the heart has long resisted. Smart lashes out at her as usual, angrily demanding to be left alone and declaring that he has no interest in intimacy. The woman immediately pleads with him to consider her feelings, pointing out that he hasn't touched her in over 6 months. Smart remains unmoved by her plea and harshly orders her to go back to sleep, insisting that he isn't willing to be intimate with her. Withholding affection leaves love unheard and hearts unsettled. The woman contemplates ending her deprivation by turning to Bhadman, since her husband has refused her and Bhadman's wife is unwilling to satisfy him. Hunger for affection can drive the heart toward choices it would otherwise never consider. The next day, Bhadman sits on his couch when the door opens and his neighbor walks in, dressed in a short revealing bum shot and a sexy shirt. She cheerfully greets Bhadman, and he tells her that his wife isn't home, and she admits that she came because his wife was away. Then she walks over to sit on the couch. Opportunity often tempts when desire meets absence. As she sits on the couch, Bhadman immediately asks why she has come, and she runs her hands over him, saying she came to cook for him. Bhadman gently removes her hands from his body and with a smile, thanks her for coming to cook for him while his wife is away. He is unaware that the woman didn't come to cook for him, but rather to present herself as a tempting meal before him. He tells the woman that everything she needs to cook is in the kitchen, then says he will go to his bedroom to rest and then leaves. In his absence, the woman settles comfortably on the couch and steels herself, speaking aloud that she is too sexy to resist, boosting her confidence for what she is about to do. She rises from the couch, fully confident in herself, believing that since Bhadman is starved for affection, he will likely succumb to her. Bhadman walks into the room and slowly climbs onto the bed to relax, waiting for the woman to prepare the meal. Unaware of her, Bhadman is caught off guard as the woman enters the room and gently climbs onto him on the bed before he can realize her presence. Shocked to see her on his body, Bhadman quickly pleads with her to get off, but the woman refuses, telling him that she came to fulfill his sexual desires. He reminds the woman that he is a married man, and that she is married too, but she tells him that she possesses the same energy he desires. He insists that the woman get off him so they can properly discuss the situation, and she reluctantly agrees, showing no shame for her bold approach. She has been deprived of intimacy for years, and is unwilling to let shyness hold her back from approaching a man who freely offers what she deeply craves. Desperation can silence shame when the heart has been empty for too long. Bhadman sits in silence, torn between remaining faithful to his wife and giving in to his desires, knowing she has refused to satisfy them. Desire may tempt the body, but loyalty is a choice the heart must defend. Unable to resist after being starved of intimacy by his wife, Bhadman agrees to proceed, pleading with the woman to promise that their betrayal will remain a secret. The woman agrees to his condition and positions herself, making it clear that she is ready to proceed. What feels right in the moment can become regret that lasts a lifetime. Two days later, what began with hesitation has blossomed into a fully confident affair, with Bhadman and the woman engaging in intimacy multiple times each day. The woman, neglected by her husband, has found refuge in Bhadman's arms, as he is always ready for intimacy, perfectly matching her sexual drive. When longing meets willingness, desire finds its refuge. Bhadman showers the woman with praise, expressing that he wishes she were his wife, lamenting that his own wife never satisfies him like she does. The woman responds in kind, describing her husband as less of a man for abandoning her 4 months without intimacy. Her mood immediately darkens as she remembers that Bhadman's wife is expected back in 3 days, and she expresses her anger that their intimacy will soon end. Bhadman consoles the woman, assuring her that their secret affair will continue even after his wife returns, claiming she isn't capable of satisfying his desires. Passion hidden in shadows often burns brighter than what is seen in the light. Intimacy is the invisible thread that binds two hearts, weaving closeness beyond words. To show the woman he isn't willing to let go, he openly demands that they engage in intimacy immediately, aiming to refresh her mind with renewed romance. The next day, Bhadman's wife, having returned from the village earlier than expected, sits on the couch. The neighbor enters the house, and both women are surprised to see each other. Bhadman's wife asks how she knew she was back, assuming she came to visit her. The neighbor sits beside her and lies, saying she heard her voice from her house, while secretly masking the disappointment on her face about her return. Bhadman's wife reveals to the neighbor that she had to return to her husband's house because she wasn't enjoying her family home and no one there was giving her special attention. She also tells her that her husband was happy to see her upon her return and had already demanded intimacy, which she refused. The neighbor, triggered by a revelation, decides to claim Bhadman for herself, knowing his wife doesn't desire him the way she does. She lies to Bhadman's wife, saying she prepared a special drink when she heard her voice and wants to fetch it, so they can celebrate her return. She gets up and walks away, leaving Bhadman's wife sitting on the couch, unsuspecting as she waits for the drink. Deception often wears the mask of kindness, hiding intentions beneath a friendly smile. Unknown to her, the very trait she despises in her husband is a treasure that another woman desires. The neighbor enters the house holding a glass of drink and confidently walks to the couch, sitting beside her. She hands the drink to her, claiming that she prepared it specifically for her. She accepts the drink from her and begins to sip it. When you accept an open glass of drink, you hold in your hand what others may have carefully prepared for you, be it blessing or trap. The neighbor watches closely as the woman sips the drink, and slowly, she begins to cough, reacting to the substance hidden within it. She's unaware that the woman didn't offer the drink to celebrate, but as a means to end her life and claim her man. She sits unbothered on the couch, watching the woman cry for help as she struggles to breathe. Some hearts hide poison behind the sweetest smiles. The neighbor confidently declares herself as Bhadman's new wife in front of his dying wife, showing no regret for what she has done. Power taken through betrayal carries no honor. The sounds of Bhadman's wife struggling prompted Bhadman to rush to the sitting room, where he is shocked to see her lying lifeless. He rushes to her side, calling her by name, but she doesn't respond. Turning to the neighbor, he asks what happened to his wife. The neighbor tells Bhadman that she poisoned his wife to permanently remove her from their lives, declaring that she wants him more than his wife ever did. Ambition fueled by greed can destroy the very hearts it seeks to claim. She walks toward him and reassures him not to worry about his wife, stating that she is available to meet all his needs, just as she has been doing. She pulls him close, and in that moment, Bhadman gives in, romantically holding her by the waist while declaring his love for her. He throws her onto the couch and immediately begins strangling her, yelling at her for poisoning his wife. Unfortunately, even though Bhadman's wife didn't satisfy his desires, he still loved her deeply and was unwilling to lose her. This is a lesson to everyone. Appreciate what you have. Neglecting emotional or physical needs in a relationship can create vulnerability, but love and loyalty are deeper than mere satisfaction. Actions define character. Boldness or confidence in pursuing selfish desires does not make one virtuous, it exposes moral weakness. Please share this video and tell us where you are watching us from.